Sa pagkakataong ito, makakausap natin ang public interest lawyer, political analyst at blogger na si Attorney Jess Falsis. Magandang hapon po, Attorney Jess, at welcome po ulit sa Arangkada Balita.
Good evening, Sir Jack and Ma'am Nina. Good evening sa lahat ng mga nakikinig.
Alright, Attorney, sabi kanina ni Congressman Leandro Leviste dun sa report, de facto raw na nasa ilalim tayo ng martial law ang bansa at sa legal na pananaw, ano po ang tingin nyo dito sa kanyang sinabi? Posible po ba itong mangyari kahit walang formal na deklarasyon ng martial law?
Well, that's ridiculous, no? From any standpoint, that is ridiculous. Una, walang seryosong human rights watchdog or mga martial law survivors that echo his sentiment. Siya ang pinakaunang nagsasabi niyan and wala siyang basis. Kasi for him to say that, dapat siguro tumingin muna siya sa lente ng mga martial law survivors, yung mga tunay na biktima ng martial law noon, for him to be able to say that. And walang nagsasabi na ganun. Lahat ng mga human rights watchdogs, of course, hindi pa din nawawala ang iilan ang mga ibang human rights violations kahit sa ilalim ni President Bongbong Marcos. And alam naman natin na yung tatay niya was credibly accused and there were credible cases of torture, human rights violations, salvage, etc. Kaya nga meron tayong batas eh. May batas tayo on compensation for martial law victims. So nung panahon na yon, documented na yon. Kung i-compare mo ngayon, ang de facto, Sir Jack and Ma'am Nina, ang ibig sabihin niyan, merong martial law kahit hindi mo ideklara. Hindi legally nag-declare ng martial law ang isang presidente, pero kung sinasabing may de facto, parang yung epekto ng martial law tsaka yung characteristics or nature ng martial law nangyayari na. Tingnan natin ano ba ang characteristics and effects or consequences of martial law for him to be able to see that. Para bang nung panahon na yon nasa silence ang mga kritiko? Yun ang number one accusation niya. Of course not. You have Leandro Leviste himself, you have Kiko Barzaga, you have Toby Chanco, you have DDS bloggers saying everything that they want to say. And we have to note yung mga DDS vloggers, lahat ng mga gusto nilang sabihin ng masasama. Ako, I am not a supporter of President Bongbong Marcos. Everybody knows that. I'm also anti-Marcos. But the DDS vloggers, the way they say it, yung accusations nila na, let's quote them, no, hindi to sa akin, bangag, yung mga iba pang, grabe yung mga salita nila. Hindi ko na nga maulit kasi talagang grabe. They're allowed, they're free to say that and nobody's filing cyber libel cases against them or inciting to sedition kung mga political opinions lang, like bangag, ganyan, kahit masasama pa yung mga salita. Kung ang sinasabi ni Leandro, dahil mayroong mga kinakaso sa kanya, di umano for his solar franchise. Sariling pananagutan niya yon, ibang usapan yon. Hindi naman yon konektado sa issue ng mga revelations niya, quote-unquote, tungkol sa Cabral files. Hindi naman, wala namang kinalaman yon. Independent yung kanyang anti-corruption crusade for DPWH doon sa pag-iimbestiga sa solar franchise niya. Hindi siya pinapatahimik. He is being held accountable for his own violations if ever may violations.
And yun nga, attorney, siguro baka ituturo din niya yung nangyayari kay Congressman Barzaga. Pero kaya naman na din kinasuhan si Congressman Barzaga ay nagmalabis din naman. Diba? Inakusahan niya yung businessman na si Enrique Razon. At pati sinabi niya yung mga ilang miyembro ng Kamara ay yun nga, yun parang tumanggap ng ano. Diba? I mean, meron talaga accountability. Hindi naman sila basta kinasuhan dahil kritiko sila. Tama po ba?
Doon na tayo papunta. We have to compare panahon ni Duterte, yung sinasabi niyang de facto martial law, mas may de facto martial law noon kasi yung mga kaso against De Lima, kaso against Trillanes, kaso against VP Leni Robredo like inciting to sedition, sinasabi ng mga human rights lawyers, sinasabi ng mga human rights watchdogs at saka ng mga press freedom advocates na yun ang de facto martial law kasi walang basihan, talagang kalokohan yung pag-cancel ng amnesty ni Trillanes, yung bogus drug cases na ngayon vindicated si Congresswoman Laila De Lima at yung kay VP Leni na wala namang inciting to sedition, walang basihan, pero kinasuhan lang kasi nga kailangan takutin, kailangan patahimikin. Ang nagsasabi noon was not a politician. Ang nagsasabi noon na pasista si Duterte at may de facto martial law noon sa Pilipinas were human rights lawyers and human rights watchdogs, not politicians like Leandro Leviste. So kung didepensahan niya yung kanyang kaibigan na si Kiko Barzaga at sasabihin niyang palusot para lang magmukhang cover na kinakasuhan sila ni Kiko Barzaga, mga kritiko ng administrasyon dahil lang na nagkikriticize sila. Yung mga kaso nila, walang nagsasabi na human rights lawyers na pinapatahimik sila or baseless yung mga yon. Lahat yon yung kay cyber libel kay Kiko Barzaga, there's a basis for that. It's a valid case. And the government is not the one filing it. It is Enrique Razon, a private person, hindi siya politiko, hindi siya state apparatus ng gobyerno. He's a private person trying to vindicate his reputation because he was being defamed clearly by this congressman na actually mas malala yun. Imagine a public person, a congressman, a person in power is defaming a private person kahit bilyonaryo pa yon. So that is not martial law. That is accountability by filing cases in court. And by the way, Sir Jack and Ma'am Nina, filing cases in court is the smallest or weakest indication of martial law. Kapag nag-file ka ng kaso in court and you're allowed to go through due process, that is an indicator of democracy, not martial law. Pag martial law yan, dapat deseparasido. Bigla ka na lang madi-disappear or merong enforced disappearances or salvage. Bigla ka na lang makikitang patay a day later or a week later. So, yun yung mas clear indicators ng martial law na may torture, human rights violations, enforced disappearances. If you file cases in court, kung matakot ka dahil kinakasuhan ka, baka dahil may pananagutan ka, that's not martial law. That's accountability.
Oo nga.
Oo po. So ano po ang tingin nyo dito kay Congressman Leandro Leviste bilang isang political analyst and vlogger, Attorney Jess, sa kanyang narrative, may mga nagsasabi na isa siyang DDS. Ano po ang inyong reaksyon dito or hindi nila malaman kung anong kampo ba siya?
Ano kasi si Congressman Leandro Leviste, mapagkunwari. He's trying to pretend he's an objective, non-partisan, general anti-corruption crusader. Pero we have never heard him criticize and expose the corruption and condemn the corruption of the Dutertes, from the father to Sara Duterte. No? May extrajudicial killings, crimes against humanity. Meron ding confidential funds, ghost employees. We have never heard of that. And then yung sasabihin niya, hindi pa siya congressman noon. Pero ngayon, nagkakabral files siya, pero hindi niya sinasabi may insertions din ng mga Duterte. On record, he has said the Dutertes have no budget insertions. And yet, when another media outlet, not your media outlet, exposed certain quote-unquote DPWH leaks, meron nakalagay doon, 1 billion insertion, Mayor Sara Duterte. When she was not a legislator, she was a mayor. In 2020, Davao City mayor, may insertions. So, yung mga ganong exposes, he has never said anything against the Dutertes. So the point of that is, while he might say he's not a critic of the administration, gusto lang daw niya i-expose yung corruption in Congress, the systematic corruption based on the Cabral files, based on the PBM formula, yung baseline, balance, manage, parametric formula, which is one of the basis of the impeachment complaints, no, the second impeachment complaint by the Makabayan Bloc. What you can see there, he just doesn't want to admit his partisanship, his political biases, para nga mas maging credible siya. But any normal, reasonable person can see that he has not said anything about the Dutertes and he has only revealed, quote-unquote, corruption under this administration, which is, it seems to be his goal is, for this administration to be replaced or to be removed. Because by saying de facto martial law, ang ini-imply niya, kailangan lumaban na yung tao sa gobyerno kasi de facto martial law. And by the way, ako as a private citizen myself, not as a political analyst, I would absolutely support defending democracy if there is a de facto martial law. But there is none. People are free to criticize and call the president the worst names and file cases like impeachment complaints against the president. Nobody is being stopped. The third thing I have to point out here before you guys ask, sorry, ang dami nating opinion dito and analysis. Makikita nyo na kaya din siya nag-statement na may de facto martial law, the exact And most recent connection for that, the impetus, bakit niya naman nasabi yon, is walang third impeachment complaint yung grupo ni na Mike Defensor at Chavit Singson. We have to connect na ang sinasabi niyang pressure at pagsasilence sa mga critics, umatras yung congressman na dapat mag-endorse doon sa third impeachment complaint. And ang palusot ngayon ng third impeachment complaint group, sina Mike Defensor and Chavit Singson, nagtawag nila sa kanilang group is People's Impeachment, which is plagiarized term from the People's Impeachment Movement ni Cielo Magno last year, no? We have to note, kaya niya sinasabing de facto martial law kasi umatras yung congressman na mag-endorse sana ng third impeachment complaint against BBM, but that's not martial law. Naduwag lang yung congressman. Siyempre, there are always political pressures and there will be political costs on congressmen who will endorse an impeachment complaint against the president, but you don't see the Makabayan bloc succumbing and bowing down to the pressure. Wala silang takot. Yung congressman nila naduwag, it's not Leandro Leviste, no, but somebody that he probably knows, alam niya, umatras sa pag-endorse, and so that's why he is ranting na may de facto martial law. Hindi kasalanan ng gobyerno yon, hindi yon martial law. Duwag lang yung congressman to endorse the third impeachment complaint.
O nga po, tsaka Attorney Leviste and partner, siguro kung meron man, magsasabi na kung meron man de facto martial law, siguro, mas una ko nga in-expect, si Attorney Nery Colmenares, di ba? Siya yung talagang mga vocal against martial law, pati sila Teddy Casino. Tama po ba?
The Makabayan bloc has been consistent, no? They will file cases against VP Sara, impeachment complaint next week, they have filed against BBM. So dyan mo makikita, sila talaga yung tunay na ideological, non-partisan, walang kinikilingan. And I respect Attorney Nery Colmenares, Sir Jake, no? But before Attorney Nery Colmenares, we should look at martial law survivors. We should look at the claimants nung sa Human Rights Compensation Board na mga biktima ng martial law na nakapag-claim ng compensation because legally they were deemed and they were assessed based on evidence na totoong biktima sila ng martial law. Kung sila, wala silang sinasabi na may de facto martial law, why should we listen to a politician na may partisan bias?
Yun nga po dahil sabi ko, sa panggagalingan siya pa talaga yung, Tsaka, pero ito rin, napansin ko rin, nung huling Senate Blue Ribbon hearing ay parang kinontra ni Senator Marcoleta itong si Leviste, na parang sinabi, hindi ka naman credible para mag-validate niyang Cabral files. So ano po ba to? Pasok na ba siya talaga sa circle ng mga DDS or ano ho ba yan? Kunwari lang po ba na kinontra siya ni Marcoleta? Or ano ho ba yung nakikita natin?
Well, one, a broken clock is correct twice a day. So even Senator Marcoleta, who is wrong on restitution and other legal issues that he says this should be, pero mali siya, na-prove na yan ni na PG Fadulyon, tsaka ni na Ombudsman Boying, he can be correct on this, no? Tama talaga yung sinabi niya na Congressman Leviste is not competent to release and authenticate the Cabral files because it's not part of DPWH. But that is not to say hindi sila quote-unquote in the same block or in the same group, because their motivations, you can clearly see, is to defend a certain group and attack another group. It's just that on that issue, hindi sila nagkakasundo. Maybe Senator Marcoleta also agrees that it's not proper for Leviste as a legislator to get the files from the executive. We have to note here, no, this is even if I strip myself of personal bias, objectively, there was a violation of separation of powers there. You had a congressman, part of the legislative branch, getting files from the executive branch, the DPWH, without going through the proper channels, like subpoena, like requesting for files, like hearings in aid of legislation. Yun yung mga normal processes. Ang ginawa niya, personal capacity, although he's a congressman, he went there and he got the files even though parang napilitan lang sina Yusek Cabral noon. He's saying may consent. But Sec Vince Dizon has always consistently reiterated for the last 3 weeks that the files were taken by force. So that's a violation of separation of powers.
All right. Opo, maraming salamat, Attorney Jesus Falsis.
Thank you po.
Magandang gabi po, sir. Ingat.